Today we're gonna try a really fun arm balance called 8-angle pose. Now, although this pose can look quite intimidating, it's actually a great arm balance to start out with, and it really helps to build strength and confidence. 8-angle pose does require you to have open hips, and since I have quite tight hips, before we get into the pose, we're gonna warm up with a few basic hip openers. For our first hip opener, we're going to come into a basic low lunge. So we're gonna enter from downward facing dog. So bring your hands shoulder distance apart, root down, and come back and up into down dog. And you can just work it out here a little bit, move your knees and hips back and forth. And then we're gonna step our right foot forward up beside our hand, and then stay here for a second, just letting yourself relax into your hips, feeling a nice stretch through your psoas muscle, and then inhale your hands up onto your right knee. Now here, you really want to breathe deeply, giving yourself some time, and really let yourself just sink into that hip. Really opening it up here, breathing deeply. And you can stay here for as long as you want until you start to feel your hip muscle relax. When you want to come out, we're going to plant our hands back down on the floor, step back and up into downward facing dog. Just moving your knees back and forth here, working out any tension that you still have left in that left hip. And then coming into the lunge on the other side, we're going to bring our left foot forward, step up beside your hands. Again, stay here for a second just to let your hips relax, and then inhale your hands up onto your left knee. Again, giving yourself some time to let that right hip just relax and stretch out. This is a really big muscle, so you need to breathe deeply and give it a few breaths to relax. Then when you're ready to come out, you're gonna plant your hands back on the floor, come back into your high plank, then gently lower your knees back, sit down on your hips, and then we'll be ready to come into our second hip opener. For our next hip opener, we're going to move into cow face pose. So we're gonna stack our knees one on top of the other. So gently bring your left knee towards the center line of your body, and then bring your right knee over top, and then just slowly begin to walk your lower leg bones out until they're almost parallel or parallel with the front of your mat. Make sure to flex your feet. This is going to help to protect your knees. Then we're gonna inhale to sit up nice and tall, and exhale, start to gently fold forward over your knees. Now, depending on how tight your hips are, you may only be able to come this far down. If you have better flexibility in your hips, you might be able to continue folding all the way down over your knees. You want to give your hips time to open up, so just breathe really deeply. On each exhale, you're going to try to release a little bit more tension from your legs and especially your hips. Try not to contract or hold any tension in your quads. Just let that go on each breath. Breathe deeply, coming a little bit deeper with each breath. And then when you're ready to come out, just walk your hands back up towards the sides of your body. You're gonna unravel, and we're just gonna come into it on the other side. So right knee comes in, and walking our lower legs out until they're parallel with the front of our mat, or close to parallel, depending on your flexibility. Flex those feet, inhale to lift, and then exhale, fold over your body. Again, releasing tension from your hips and your legs on each breath, moving a little bit deeper into the pose. And then to come out, just walk your hands back up. Inhale, you're gonna unravel your knees, and then we're ready to move on to 8-angle pose. So to start off, we're going to bring our right leg up and just cradle it a little bit, rocking it back and forth, opening up our hip a little bit more. We're gonna start to work our leg up onto our upper arm. Now, if you can get your leg all the way up to your shoulder, that's great. If not, don't worry. As long as you're bringing it up to your elbow, you're gonna be good. Then we're gonna start to just push into our arm, bring our leg nice and tight together with our arm. You're gonna plant your right hand, and then you're gonna plant your left hand, bring your left foot up on top of your right, flex your feet. This is gonna help lock them together throughout the pose. Now we're gonna start to shift forward. As soon as you feel your bum come off the ground, you're gonna shoot your legs out to the side and come into chaturanga arms, keeping your elbows nice and close to your body, everything tight towards the center line. Once you're ready to come out, just gonna press back up, bring your legs back in, and come into a seated position. It's much easier than it looks, I promise. 8-angle pose is such a fun pose to try when you're just starting out with arm balances. I'd love to see your photos of the pose, so be sure to send them to me on Twitter or Instagram at CoralTV. And also let me know if you want me to break down any other poses for you. Just leave them in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time on Surviving Yoga.